I'm Ronda Wist. To quote a couple of famous Upper East Siders, there's nothing like a dame. Nothing in the world, there's nothing you can name that is anything like a dame. I think we can all agree with that statement, whether we're talking about South Pacific or East 71st Street. Architect Richard Henry Dana Jr. designed the New York headquarters of the National Society of Colonial Dames in 1929. He chose the Georgian Revival style, one of the neo-colonial styles familiar to anyone who knows the neighborhood. So many schools, banks, and mansions for titans of industry use the neos for aspirational purposes, a sort of shorthand to demonstrate possibly faux deep roots in the United States. However, in this case, the crisp brick, limestone, and cast stone design was perfect. It reflected the organization's actual deep American roots as well as its ongoing work in historic preservation. Using references from 9 historic buildings, including one that once stood on Wall Street, a balcony on the Old State House in Boston, and a Palladian window from Mount Pleasant in Philadelphia, Dana created a unique design. The details recall the past while serving as the calling card for this institution. Friends often presents awards to beautiful and beautifully restored buildings, but we rarely have the pleasure and distinct honor of giving an award to an actual historic preservation organization. This building, in its understated way, is a showstopper. What is this colonial mansion doing on East 71st Street, pedestrians wonder. So, who are these very serious colonial dames? In 1893, the group was incorporated as an early member of the Federation of the National Society of the Colonial Dames of America. The New York Dames were ardent preservationists and educators. Since 1896, they have been responsible for the preservation and operation of the Van Cortlandt Mansion. But in addition to their good works of looking back and preserving the past, they also focused on changing New York. Reaching out to the city's increasing immigrant population, they offered classes such as English and the naturalization process. This evening, we're not simply recognizing the building's beauty, we're also recognizing the extraordinary care and craftsmanship by this team. 2 years of restoration work ended in July. The extensive work included the cleaning and repair of the masonry facades, replacement of cast stone balustrades, replacement of copper dormer standing seam roofing, even ironwork repairs. A fascinating point, the windows were constructed using steel nails, which I'm sure sounded quite modern in 1929. However, this joinery method ended after 20 years because of joint failures. So what did the team do? They removed all of the corroded nails and created wooden dowel replacements, more typical of the 18th century buildings this design referenced. All of the wooden doors, windows, and shutters were stripped of paint, repaired, and replaced and restored. And what about that steeply pitched roof? The historic slate tiles were removed. The new tiles are anchored to a unique invisible framing system that both meets modern fire requirements and reproduces the historic roof planes. Also, for those people visiting, Lee Saltzman Architects are working with the Society to renovate the interior so that modern programming and code requirements will fit comfortably within the 1929 rooms. Mr. Dana would be impressed. Lots of things in life are beautiful, but brother, there is one thing that is nothing whatsoever in any way, shape, or form like any other. There is nothing like a dame.